Mojang have this amazing talent for adding something cool and then just not really finishing it. And nowhere is that more obvious than Minecraft's block sets. Almost all of them have at least one block variant missing, which is why, in my last video, I added 200 blocks that Mojang either forgot, ignored, or just couldn't be bothered to add. Here's where the block sets were at the end of my last video. But I'm not really liking this block mapping system anymore, so I made a new block map, which includes all the gaps I plan to fill. Green means I will add, yellow means I probably will add, orange means I probably won't add, and red means I will not add. Prismarine and nether quartz actually line up surprisingly well, which is why I grouped them together. To make these sets match, I added chiseled prismarine bricks and prismarine brick pillars. Now that the mod is updated past 1.21.4, I can finally add resin brick variants. I added cracked resin bricks and mossy resin bricks, which actually use pale moss instead of normal moss. I was going to add polished resin, but since resin bricks are crafted with an actual brick item instead of being crafted from a polished variant, I'm not sure polished resin would fit. I was also going to add slab stairs and walls to the block of resin, but since that is a compacting block and none of the other compacting blocks have variants, I also decided that those blocks might not fit. But let me know in the comments if you disagree. Next, I decided to make endstone match all of these block sets. I added polished endstone, and, in the future, I'm also going to add mossy endstone, which will have some kind of purple end moss on it. But currently, there is no purple end moss in the game, so I'll have to find an adequate substitute or add my own. More pillars are something a lot of people have requested. I already added endstone brick and prismarine brick pillars, but there are lots of other block sets that could benefit from a pillar variant. Stone, deepslate, and blackstone seem like the first obvious choices. The stone pillar is pretty basic, but I think it matches the stone block set pretty well. The deepslate and blackstone pillars, on the other hand, look a lot more unique. Another block set that could use a pillar is mud bricks. Side note, I was also going to add polished mud, until I realized how dumb that sounded. Some of the mud blocks already push the limits of what mud can do, so I don't want to push it anymore. There are 6 more block sets that definitely deserve pillar variants. These are, of course, andesite, granite, diorite, tuff, dripstone, and calcite. But tuff already has 2 chiseled variants, and one of those variants already has textures that, if rotated, would work perfectly for a pillar block. So instead of adding a new pillar block for tuff, I changed chiseled tuff bricks into the tuff brick pillar. You might think this change will break existing worlds, but not really. I still decided to add a built-in resource pack that, when disabled, disables the texture changes. The block will technically still be a pillar block, but I am working on a config that will give you full control of this feature. As for the other blocks, calcite and dripstone pillars got more unique designs, while andesite, granite, and diorite pillars are more uniform to match their chiseled counterparts. Next we have snow, which doesn't seem like it needs variants, but snow bricks exist in real life, and this block works great for igloos and winter builds, so I think it's justified. I won't add more variants to this set. Snow doesn't have many logical possibilities for variants, but snow bricks fit perfectly. Now you may have noticed that a lot of the blocks from my last video have upgraded textures. The main highlights are better cracked textures and improved chiseled textures. There are still textures from my last video and from this video that need work. Like, I still need to go through most of the mossy textures and make the color of the moss better match the color of the block. There is one more major texture update. When 2 smooth stone slabs are stacked, they have unique side texture, but there are a bunch of other slabs that should have this feature. So for all these slab variants, I added new double slab textures, but unlike the texture fix for sandstone walls that I made in my last video, these texture changes will break texture packs. So I put all these double slab textures into a built-in texture pack that you can turn on or off whenever you like. Another smaller addition I made is built-in extra compatibility for one of my other mods, Cinch's villager statues, which is a mod that just adds some basic villager statue structures around the world. But now, if you have both Cinch's missing blocks and Cinch's villager statues installed, some of the statues will use new blocks I added. I also added some new recipes that let you use 2 moss carpets to craft mossy blocks. My other mod, Cinch's Better Deepslate, also got a big update. The biggest new feature is Sculk Inlaid Deepslate, a mix of Sculk and some kind of chiseled deepslate. People requested a Sculk Deepslate combination block a lot, and I can definitely see why. On top of spending around 7 hours overhauling, updating, and fixing all 14 versions of Cinch's Better Deepslate, I also fixed the top texture of Deepslate walls and removed the Deepslate and Blackstone tools and moved them to a separate mod. The removal of these features was highly requested in the comments of the video I made about this mod, and I don't really like them anymore myself. But after I finished updating Cinch's Better Deepslate, I decided to run a poll asking if I should merge it into Cinch's missing blocks, and most people said yes. So now, all the features from Cinch's Better Deepslate are built into Cinch's missing blocks by default. But I am not ending support for Cinch's Better Deepslate, which will continue to exist and receive updates as a standalone mod. Now I want to take a minute to talk about what blocks I still need to add or I'm thinking about adding but want feedback on first. I already mentioned that I'll add mossy and stone bricks, but another block family that I'm definitely expanding on more is sandstone. The problem is I can't decide if I should add mossy and cracked variants of cut sandstone, or if I should introduce an entirely new sandstone brick set with its own cracked and mossy variants. I'm also thinking about adding blue nether bricks to complement red nether bricks, and I will most likely add nether brick fence gates, tiles for stone and blackstone, a non-cobbled version of blackstone, and possibly some kind of unique stone block to match gilded blackstone and skulk inlaid deepslate. There are also still a bunch of block sets that could get pillar variants, but many of their textures just don't translate well into the pillar format, which is why I haven't committed to them yet. And finally, I want your thoughts on mossy variants for nether bricks and blackstone. I've made crimson and warped mossy versions of nether bricks before, but that ended up being too many new blocks. If you have a cleaner or more interesting solution, drop your ideas in the comments, I'm all ears. Now I know it may seem like I didn't add as much as my last video, but just take a look at the changelog. All of this took forever. I'm trying to make a high quality, playable mod, not just a quick mod to be used only for YouTube videos. Before we move to the last section of the video, I just want to take a moment to talk about Gearout. Gearout is an apparel and accessory brand focused on making gear that's durable, comfortable, and actually practical for everyday use. Their clothing is lightweight but sturdy, which is great if you're someone who's constantly on the move. And their bags and accessories are designed with a lot of attention to detail, plenty of pockets, strong materials, and a clean look that works whether you're traveling, heading to class, or just chilling at home editing Minecraft videos. If you want to check them out, use the link in the description and code Cinch for 50% off any Gearout creator items until May 30th. Now back to the video. For this last section of the video, I just want to answer some common questions I've received and mention some other notable stuff. The first question is, will this mod be backported to 1.20.1? Yes, I will be doing that. Will this mod be updated to new Minecraft releases as they come out? Yes, I will keep this mod and most of my other mods updated to the current Minecraft version. Do I use MC Creator? No, I do not use MC Creator, because it sucks. Will I add concrete or terracotta variants? I do plan on probably making a separate mod for concrete and terracotta variants, since I don't want to bloat this mod with that many new blocks, or I will just add them with a config to disable them. Also, in certain Minecraft versions, the built-in resource packs may show as broken, but that's just a visual issue, they still work perfectly. You should also know that the packs are off by default. Before I end the video, I just want to thank Stallman, Poppy, and my headmess for all the help they provided with making and upgrading many of the textures. I hope you enjoyed the video and all the new blocks. I have many more videos in the works, and there will be a third, probably final part to this Missing Blocks video series. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave your ideas for future mods in the comments.